I hope that all of you guys are excited and all of you guys have read a little bit of the portion of the book, hopefully. And let's begin with our outline of what our reading class is going to be looking like throughout our 10-week program. So for our 10-week program, it's going to be, I think most of you guys are going to get adapted to this kind of system really quickly because it's super, super easy to follow along. It's just the last 2 weeks that some of you guys might get a little bit confused upon, but that's totally fine because that's why I'm here. I'm here to kind of just tell you guys how the system goes. But for this week and next week, we are going to be starting, I think the dates are a little bit off. Hold on. Don't look at the dates. Ignore the dates. But for the next 2 weeks, we are going to be covering the story of Tucker Everlasting. We will be splitting that up into 13 chapters. I know that sounds like a lot to go over in one class, but trust me, I have consolidated the ideas and most of the majority of like the summaries and everything for you guys for more easy reading. But other than that, the next book we are going to go into is The 100 Dress. We will be going over 3 to 4 chapters through this book just because the book is long. It's just the chapters are very small, if that makes sense. So that's why it seems like there's so little chapters. After that, we will be going into so that's 4 weeks. We will be going into our 5th and 6th week, which we will be starting free lunch. It's around, I don't have a good estimate of how many chapters there are, but I heard that it's around like, I think 200 pages. So we'll probably go over 100 each class, not like totally 100, but just chapter wise. And then last but not least, we have our final novel, which is not until very much later, is The Other Westmore, One Name, Two Fates. And we will split that up into 4 classes. Now, I do want you guys to pay attention to the last 2 weeks of our program. It's going to be our final review, which we'll be kind of going over how like the system goes for the final, so you guys can get a little bit of a good perspective on how things are going to go. And then last but not least, we will be having our final, which is on the last week. And I hope that all of you guys will have retained at least some knowledge of everything. If not, that's totally fine, because you guys can always review with either each other or me or anyone else that you guys would like. But if there's no questions or confusion about this, I am going to move on. I think everyone is good with this. Yes. All right. Remember, I do want you guys to note that this reading class, there is a special prize at the very end for our winners for this for the round. And if you guys do end up winning, like we have our last winner still here, Sophia. I don't know. You can like kind of wave your hand. Yes, she was our first place winner last season, and I believe you got a $25 gift card. I'm not too sure. You would have to correct me.
It's $15.
$15 gift card. So there is going to be a little, our final is going to have prizes and the winners are going to be given prizes. So I hope all of you guys listen up and ask any questions that you guys might have, because I want all of you guys to experience having $15 to spend on Amazon, which is a pretty lot, if I do say so myself. But other than that, we are going to go straight into our background or our context of what today's class is going to cover. So first off, we are going to have a little introduction, aka our warm-up. Most of the time, it's going to be semi-related to what the book is going to be covering, but it's just a little fun way for us to kind of get started with class. Second up, we are going to go straight into the review of the background regarding our characters of the story, the actual author, and little videos or short clips that I have found online that I find pretty fun, or as you can say, like it's pretty fun to like watch little tiny summaries and clippets of like the actual movie and what the story is actually about. Third up is the most important part, is that we are actually going to read portions of the story. And last but not least, we are going to have a little activity today called Be a Reporter. I'll tell you more about it later on, but that's basically the overview of what this class is going to kind of be for today. All right, for today's warm-up, we are going to kind of dive into some questions about life and life itself and see where you guys stand and how you guys kind of fit into that category and what scale are you guys upon in. So for our warm-up, I usually I will start first and I'll answer the question, but you guys are I'm really happy if you guys would chime in and raise your hand to see what you guys think or what you guys know about, like, for example, what is the circle of life? Does anyone know what the circle of life is or what the meaning is to that? You guys can raise your hand, you guys can unmute, doesn't really matter. Sophia?
Well, I think the circle of life is like when you're first born to when you grow up, like your stages and your milestones, like when you're a baby or an infant, and then to a toddler, to a child, to a teenager, and then to an adult.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. You kind of bring in like your personal, like usually for humans, the circle of life is birth and then growing up and then becoming adult and growing old. So I love that. Thank you, Sophia, for sharing. Annie, do you have a different perspective or would you like to chime in to what Sophia said?
I have a different perspective. And by the way, my name is Anna.
Oh, sorry, Anna.
It's okay. So, I think the circle of life, well, I watched the movie Lion King before, so that gives me a bit of a background. So, that basically in general is like how all life is connected, like the lions and the birds and all other animals, and how it's like a food chain, but a little more diverse.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. I wanted to hint upon that. Yes, absolutely. If you have ever watched The Lion King, it kind of goes it's a very, I guess you can say, simplified, yet like it's very simplified to the readers, or not to the readers, but to the watcher, of how things are moving in almost a cycle and how everything is connected. It's almost as if things are kind of just the way they are because of Mother Nature, either Mother Nature or just how it's supposed to be. And it's kind of a chain, almost a food chain, if you can think of it like that, of basically life itself. All right, moving on. Thank you so much, Sophia and Anna, for sharing. I have a couple more questions, so do not worry if you didn't want to answer that one. That's totally fine with me, because the next question is it's a lot more, I guess, personally, you can say. If you had the chance to take a pill to become immortal, would you take it? Is that something that you would like to do, or would you pass upon that? Anna?
I would definitely pass. So after reading Tuck Everlasting, my opinion, or what the book is overall saying, is that no, getting immortal is like bad, because if you get immortal, you will live forever and ever and ever and ever, and there's no benefits to that except that you won't get hurt. But if you marry someone, then they'll think you're haunted or something like that, and I don't want that to happen.
Right, I got you. Yeah. It's very, I understand totally, because you read the book, that immortality doesn't seem right, at least for life itself. It makes us it makes life lack meaning, because you don't have a purpose anymore, because you don't have a set plan, because you're living on forever and ever and ever. So thank you so much for sharing. I love that. Next up, could I please have
You're on mute.
sorry, Livia? Please tell me if I'm mispronouncing your name. I think it's Livia.
I would pass because then my friends and family can't be immortal, so they would die.
Right. Let's change the topic just a little bit for you. If the pill was accessible to your family and your friends, would you take it or would you still pass? You have the
Still pass.
right. And how come you want to pass that opportunity?
Because living forever doesn't seem really fun.
Doesn't seem very fun. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, I totally understand. It's like I said before, it lacks purpose and it lacks meaning sometimes when you're not really, you're living on forever. Sophia, would you like to share?
I agree with everyone else who previously shared their opinion. Like, you don't have a time limit for your goals, so life becomes endless and it becomes really boring, and you have no purpose, and you're gonna just one day you're just gonna sit somewhere and wait. When am I gonna die? When am I gonna die? Because
Right.
you have so much time to achieve your goals and stuff.
Yeah.
It sort of makes you lazy, and it's just not really a pill that I like to take.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the perfect. If I were to summarize it, I would summarize it just like you. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sophia, for sharing. All right, let's go into Ava. What would you do if you had the chance to take the pill?
I would pass the pill because if I do some fun things that I have never did, I'll keep living and do it again and again. And then I'll repeat it and I'll think it's really boring.
Yeah, life would lack purpose. It would be boring. Nothing would excite you anymore because you're just living on and on and on and on. Thank you so much, Ava. All right, Joey, would you like to share your perspective on this?
So I wouldn't want to take it because I don't want to just be floating around space after the sun
Right.
explodes.
Yeah, I got you. You definitely don't want to be there when Earth suddenly does not exist anymore. All right, Samson, what would you take the pill?
I want to take the pill because if I stayed alive forever, I like get really bored, and
Yeah.
like everybody who who like my family and stuff, they would all die and I wouldn't. So
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I understand that whole completely. Like the question I asked previously, if you had the chance to give your family members and even your friends this pill with you, would you still take it or would you still pass?
I'd still like pass because it'll get pretty boring after a few hundred years.
All right, thank you so much, Joey, for sharing. And last but not least, could I get Benjamin to share it?
Okay, so I just had to add my input on this, even though I only read to like page 25 of the book.
Got you.
So I think that for me, it might depend. So what I'm trying to say is, how do I put this? So if okay, so if immortal means like I can't die of like damage or old age, like I can't die of any cause, then I won't take it. But if I could just like off myself anytime I wanted, I'd probably like if something got way too boring and then I got bored of when to grow and develop, I could just go like, you know what, today's a good day to jump off a building.
Oh my god, Benjamin. Wow. Well, I would say with this immortality pill, there's no way to jump off the building because you're still gonna live on forever. So I think what you're trying to say is you'll probably not take the pill. But very interesting. Very, very interesting. I guess it's very to your forte, I would say. But nice. I loved hearing everyone's perspective. Thank you so much, Benjamin, for sharing. And thank you everyone who did share. I loved all of your guys' answers, and I have learned a little bit about each and every one of you. And it seems like I don't think anyone would take the pill, actually, now looking at it. Joey, would you take the pill?
Well, I don't think it's much of a question because I'm going to take the pill and become immortal. I can crush the dinosaurs as they try to crush me.
Gosh, all right. So one person, as of now, that I know of would take the pill. All right, that's very interesting. I can see different sides to it. Yes, Joey?
I want to be immortal.
You actually do? That's very interesting. Wow.
Because I want to be powerful.
You want to be powerful. Oh, very interesting. I see. All right. But other than that, we are going to be transitioning right into our not reflection. We're going to be into our background information. Again, thank you all that shared. I am so happy that all of you guys kind of found this question a little bit intriguing. And we will be moving on into our story of Tucker Everlasting. And I hope that most of you guys have read a portion of it. I will say, I don't expect you guys to read the whole book before you guys come here, because why are you here if you're not going to learn something, if you already know everything? So, but I do highly recommend that you guys read a little bit of it to kind of get like a good base or a good foundation of what the story is actually telling. All right, but other than that, we are going to go into our little background about our author. All right, would anyone like to read? Would anyone like to read this slide for me? Ava, go for it.
Natalie Babbitt was an American author and illustrator of children's books. Her fondest children memories are reflected into her book Around Time in the Middletown, Ohio. Stories and books were important throughout her life.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. You can see that our author, I believe she still is alive, I would assume. Someone has to search that up, but she is a very established author, especially in children's books and all that stuff. So if you guys are ever interested in checking out some of her other books, I would recommend it because she has a very intriguing way and style of writing that I find really, really fun to read. All right, let's move on to the next question, to the next portion, which we will be going over our main characters. I will start off with Winnie Boris. Winnie is the protagonist of the story, a 10-year-old girl who feels trapped by her overprotective parents and yearns for adventure. She discovers the Tuckers and becomes involved in their little secret, ultimately making a decision that will impact her life. Dun, 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 dun. And as you guys can see, that is the movie version of what Winnie looks like. Although she does not look 10 at all. She looks so much more older. That's kind of a visual of what she looks like. Sophia, do you have a question for me?
We can't see her slide. We can only see the background author slide.
Oh my goodness. Let me, do you guys see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Thank you for telling me. Next time, if that happens, just interrupt me. I'm totally fine with that. All right, but as I was saying before, Winnie does not look, in the movie at least, like a 10-year-old. I don't think any 10-year-old looks like this. At least maybe not in my community that a 10-year-old looks like this. But if you guys ever watch the movie, just don't be too surprised that they look much more older than they are. All right, we will be going into our side character. Would anyone like to read this one for me? Sophia, go for it.
Side characters. Jesse Tuck. Jesse is one of the Tuck sons. Around 17 years old, but still appears like a teenager due to his immortality. He is friendly, adventurous, and takes a liking to Winnie.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sophia. Moving on to the next character. Could I please have Anna? I believe that you wanted to read earlier, but I'm not too sure. Would you still like to read?
Yes, please.
All right, go for it.
Miles is Jesse's older brother and appears to be in his early 30s. He is more cautious and skeptical about sharing their secret with outsiders, fearing the consequences. Miles is kind-hearted and protective of his family.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next character, could I get Ava? Would you like to read this one?
Yes.
Go for it.
May is Jessie and Miles' mother. She is described as strong-willed, caring, and protective of her family. May is also burdened by the weight of immortality and longs for normal life.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Moving on, could I please have let's have someone different read. But thank you for the offer. Let's see. Could I please have Benjamin? Could you read?
Okay. Angus Tuck. Angus is Jesse and Miles' father and the oldest member of the Tuck family. He is portrayed as a wise and gentle character who carries the weight of their secret and knowledge of the consequences and immortality.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. And last but not least, could I please have let's have Joey read. Could you please read our last character, Joey Liang? Our last character, the man in the yellow suit.
All right. The man in the yellow suit is the story's antagonist. He is a mysterious character who discovers the Tuck's secret and plans to profit from it. He pursues the Tucks and Winnie to obtain the water from the magical spring.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Joey, for reading. I will say the man in the yellow suit looks kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie. He has a very big forehead, which is very, very interesting. But it's kind of funny, not gonna lie. All right. But other than that, I think I'm gonna have a little activity for you guys next week. Next week I will still be going over the characters, but next week I will be slightly changing the pictures a bit to see if you guys can match it correctly to the character and their name, if that makes sense. So for next week, I want you guys, well, for this week, I guess you can say, I want you guys to kind of study the characters. So next week, you guys will be receiving a little bit of a fun treat or prize if you guys do manage to get all the characters placed correctly. So that's kind of just a little quick disclaimer about what we are going to do next week. But other than that, we are going to go into a little bit of a further depth upon these characters. I will read this one. Further depth. These characters and their interactions explore the theme of life, death, and the value of mortality. The story raises questions about the nature of eternal life and the importance of the the importance of the transcensions. Oh my goodness, hold on. Transcensions and fitting aspect of human existence. All right, so like the question that I asked in the very beginning of what the circle of life really means, this story heavily emphasizes on kind of the circle of life. It kind of gives you a perspective of what life would mean without this system being in place and this system being intact. So I want each of you guys to kind of look at each of the characters in a way where it's like you can kind of see how differently and how it has affected them greatly about their values and what they think of and how they interact with other human beings. All right, other than that, we are going to go into a little quick summary of the actual story for some of you guys who may not have read it or have a little knowledge upon it. Don't worry, we are going to go into a little quick summary before we get started with the actual reading. The story, could I please have, who have I heard from in a while? Angela, would you like to read our summary for us? Angela, are you there? It doesn't seem like she's there, so let's see. Olivia, would you like to read our summary for us?
The story revolves around Winnie Foster, a young girl seeking adventure and escape from her stifling life. She encounters the Tuck family, who harbor a remarkable secret. They have discovered a spring that grants eternal life. As Winnie becomes entwined in their lives, she is faced with a profound choice that will forever change her perspective.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. We have two short little videos. I didn't know which one you guys would like more. The first one is a trailer of the actual movie, and the second one is a little short summary, a little like quick drawing. I really love this YouTuber, but he kind of draws like the main idea of what everything is. So I kind of want to know what you guys would like to do, like depending on that. You can just how should I do this? Should you guys just shout out? Do you guys want to shout out to see who wants to do what? Okay, just go for it. Unmute and tell me which one you want, either trailer or summary. Go for it. Trailer.
Summary.
Trailer summary.
Wait, Sophia.
I mean, I don't if we have time, we'll do both, but
I like the summary. I watched the summary before. It's really good.
Really awesome. I think most of us will be okay with the summary, hopefully. So I am going to play that. Let me hit present for you. Not present, let me hit play for you. Right. And that is the little short summary that I usually like playing for you guys. I know that there's a bunch of you guys that would like to watch the trailer. If we do have time at the very end, I will try to play the trailer for you guys. But if we do not, I will play it next week. So hopefully that is okay with all of you guys. But other than that, oh no, it's gonna keep on playing.
This is a story about a girl.
Oh no. All right. We are going to go into our story for now. Thank you for all your patience. We have finished our kind of review upon the characters, what the story is really about, and what it kind of tells upon. But before we begin, I would like you guys to hold on. Oh no. All right. Let's play a little game. All right, so for 3 of the chapters that we are going to be reading, well, we're going to be reading a ton of chapters, but I have selected 3 chapters that I will not say which chapter it is, but they will have one random question at the very end. The person that finished reading the chapter will be answering this question. If they get it correct, the whole class will be able to get a point. If the person gets it incorrect, they will be able to ask for one person to assist them. If they still do not get it correct, you guys will get no points, sadly. And for these points, they are actually going to be trade-off points. So if the whole class gets 5 out of the 8 questions correct by the end of this book, I will give you a little bit of a hint of, how do I say this? I will give you like a little bit of a hint of what the final is going to kind of be composed upon. So this is kind of your chance to I would say kind of maneuver your way to a little bit of the final and what it's going to be based upon. So let me like repeat myself one more time. There's only going to be 3 random chapters, only 3. They're going to be completely random. I have not they're going to be hidden away so none of you guys can see my slides. But for the person that finished reading the last paragraph or the last part of the page, they will they will have to answer the question for the whole entire class. Does that make sense with everyone? Anyone have any questions before we start? I don't believe so. All right, let's move on then. All right. Oh, and these are the little secret questions. You guys can't see anything and you guys don't know which chapter it is, but I will show you the slide and what it looks like. All right, but other than that, let's begin our story. All right, prologue. Could I please have, oh, Anna, would you like to read this? You can read, would you like to read the whole page or would you like to split it in half with someone? It's your choice.
I can read the whole page.
Awesome, go for it.
The first week of August hangs at the very top of summer, the top of the lifelong year, like the highest seat of a Ferris wheel when it pauses in its turning. The weeks that come before are only a climb from balmy spring, and those that follow a drop to the chill of autumn. But the first week of August is motionless and hot. It is curiously silent too, with blank white dawns and glaring noons, and sunsets smeared with too much color. Often at night there's lightning, but it quivers all alone. There is no thunder, no relieving rain. These are strange and breathless days, the dog days, when people are led to do things that they are sure to be sorry for after. One day at that time, not so very long ago, 3 things happened, and at first there appeared to be no connection between them. At dawn, May Tuck set out on her horse for the wood at the edge of the village of Tree Gap. She was going there, as she did once every 10 years, to meet her 2 sons, Miles and Jesse. At noontime, Winnie Foster, whose family owned the Tree Gap Wood, lost her patience at last and decided to think about running away. And at sunset, a stranger appeared at the Foster's gate. He was looking for someone, but he didn't say who. No connection, you would agree, but these things can come together in strange ways. The wood was at the center, the hub of the wheel. All wheels must have a hub. A Ferris wheel has one, as the sun is the hub of the wheeling calendar. Fixed points they are, and best left undisturbed, for without them, nothing holds together. But sometimes people find this out too late.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for the amazing reading. Moving on to chapter number 1. Could I please have, you can either split the page in half or actually read the whole entire page. It's up to you. But would anyone else like to read?
I can do the first portion.
Benjamin, would you like to read? Go for it.
Okay. What counts as half? Like, what's half?
Half just means, do you see the sentence only when it doesn't?
Where? Like, just like, where's half?
Do you see the sentence not starting from, but ending of only when it doesn't? There's a little dash.
Yes.
That's where you can stop.
Okay. Whether the people felt that way about the wood is difficult to say. There were some, perhaps, who did, but for the most part, the people followed the road around the wood because
Oh no, did he freeze? Benjamin, are you still there?
the owners of the Touch Me Not cottage and was therefore private property in the spite that it lay outside the fence and was perfectly accessible. The ownership of the land is an odd thing when you come to think of it.
Oh no. I think he froze up again. Benjamin? Benjamin! Come
His
back.
His eyes are so weird.
He's no longer with us anymore.
He actually froze. He actually froze.
Actually, yeah, I can tell. Benjamin, oh, he's back.
He's moving.
Oh,
Yes, I can hear you. Can you start back at the ownership of the land and continue from there?
the ownership of the land is an odd thing when you come to think of it. How deep, after all, can it go? If a person owns a piece of land, does he own it all the way down, in every narrative dimension, till it meets all other pieces of the center of Earth? Or does ownership consist of only the thin crust under which the friendly ones have never heard of trespassing? In any case, the wood, being on top, except of course for its roots, was on bud and bow by the Fosters in the Touch-Me-Not cottage, and if they never went there, if they never wandered among the trees, well, that was their affair. Winnie, the only child of the house, never went there, so she sometimes stood inside the fence, carelessly banging a stick against the iron bars, and looked at it. But she had ever been curious about it. Nothing ever seems interesting when it belongs to you, only when it doesn't.
Great, awesome. Thank you so much, Benjamin. I know you had a little bit of technical difficulties, but that's all right. Let's see. Let me pick on someone else. Before I pick on you, I know you love reading. Sophia, would you like to not finish us off, but finish that portion off?
And what is interesting, anyway, about a slim few acres of trees, there will be dimness shot through with bars of sunlight, a great many squirrels and birds, a deep, damp mattress of leaves on the ground, and all the other things just as familiar, if not so pleasant, things like spiders, thorns, and grubs. In the end, however, it was the cows who were responsible for the woods is isolation, and the cows, through some wisdom that they were not wise enough to know that they possessed, were very wise indeed. If they had made their road through the wood instead of around it, then the people would have followed the road. The people would have noticed the giant ash tree at the end of the wood, and then in time they'd have noticed the little spring bubbling up among its roots in spite of the pebbles piled there to conceal it. And what have been a disaster so immense that this wary old earth, owned or not to its very core, would have trembled on its axis like a beetle on a pin.
All right, thank you so much. As you can see, Natalie, our author, she loves her visuals, especially when she's writing, and it's often very, very serenic, and you can see how deep she likes to go when she's trying to push on to the readers. And I find that very admirable, and I really, really like that about her. Could I please have, let's see, who would like to go next? Anna, would you like to read again?
Yes, please, but do I just say the boys will be home tomorrow?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Okay. The boys will be home tomorrow. May's husband, on his back beside her, did not stir. He was still asleep, and the melancholy creases that folded his daytime face were smooth and slack. He snored gently, and for a moment the corners of his mouth turned upward in a smile. Tuck almost never smiled except in his sleep. May sat up in bed and looked at him tolerantly. The boys will be home tomorrow, she said again, a little more loudly. Tuck twitched and the smile vanished. He opened his eyes. Why do you have to wake me up? He sighed. I was having that dream again, the good one where we're all in heaven and never heard a tree get up. May sat there frowning, a great potato of a woman with a round, sensible face and calm brown eyes. It's no use having that dream, she said. Nothing's going to change. You tell me that every day, said Tuck, turning away from her onto his side. Anyways, I can't help what I dream. Maybe not, said May, but all the same, you should have gotten used to things by now. Tuck groaned. I'm going back to sleep, he said. Not me, said May. I'm going to take the horse and go down to the wood to meet them. Meet who? The boys, Tuck, our sons. I'm going to ride down to meet them. Better not do that, said Tuck. I know, said May, but I just can't wait to see them. Anyways, it's 10 years since I went to Tree Gap. No one will remember me. I'll ride in at sunset just to the wood.
All right. Let's move on to our next little, thank you so much, Anna, for reading. Let's move on to our next thing, which is our big secret question. So this will be for Anna, since she was the last person who read. The question is chapter 1. Why aren't the Forest curious about the wood, but Winnie is?
The Fosters aren't curious about the wood because they've been there already and they drank the magical water that made them immortal, and they really hate that. But Winnie is, because even though her family owns it, she's never been there before, but instead just keeps throwing a stick at the metal bars of the entrance. And there also isn't a road for Winnie to go through in the wood.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I like that answer. Awesome. So that is going to be 1 point for you guys out of the 8. Congratulations. You have received 1 point. Let's see if anyone else, oh, Joey, do you have a question for me?
Yeah, so the people who actually drink the magical water were the Tucks, not the Fosters.
Or the Tucks, not the Fosters. Yes. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. I think Anna was trying to say that. I think, hint. I think you were trying to say that. Were you?
Well, yeah, I was saying the Tucks instead of the Fosters.
Yeah, I'll still give it to you regardless, but good catch. Good catch, Joey. But you guys still receive 1 point out of the 8. So let's see who next will answer.
And I would like to add also that the Fosters don't care, because they don't care. They aren't curious. They really, well, because they're old. They don't. They're old and they don't have innocence like kids do.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. I think another good thing to note is that they've been there for so long. They practically existed for like 100 years. So I bet places like the woods will get boring with them because they lived there for so long. But thank you so much for answering, and we will go on to chapter 2. Could I please have let's have someone new read. Livy, would you like to read for us?
A day's ride from Tree Gap, May Tuck wakes and decides to meet her sons, Jesse and Miles, who are visiting for the first time in 10 years. She wakes her husband, Angus, who goes by Tuck.
Oh, sorry about that.
He grouches at her for disturbing his dream where their whole family is in heaven. May scolds him, saying she doesn't know why he bothers with the dream, since nothing's going to change. Tuck goes back to sleep, and May gets ready to leave, putting her music box in her skirt pocket and doing her hair. Though she has a mirror, she doesn't care to gaze upon her reflection. She knows what she'll see because she, Tuck, and their sons have looked exactly the same for 87 years.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Moving on to chapter 3. All right, there we go. Could I please have let's have Joey with no last name. I don't know how to differentiate you guys. Joey with no last name, could you please read? You can either read half of it or all of it, depending on you. I'm so sorry. Could you say that one more time?
Half.
Half? All right. Then you can stop when you see the and ... Do you see that?
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Look here, Oh, she said, thrusting her arms through the bars of the fence and poking at the weeds on the other side. I don't think I can stand it much longer. At this moment, a window at the front of the cottage was flung open, and a thin voice, her grandmother's pipe, Winfred, don't sit on that dirty grass. You'll stain your boots and stockings. And another voice, a firm voice, her mother added, come in now and you right away. You'll get heat stroke out there on a day like this, and your lunch is ready. See, said Winnie to the toad. That's just what I mean. It's like that every minute. If I had a sister or a brother, there'd be someone else for them to watch. But as it is, there is only me. I'm tired of being looked at all the time. I want to be by myself for a change. She leaned her forehead against the bars, and after a short silence, she went on in a thoughtful tone. I'm not exactly sure what I do, but something interesting, something that's all mine, something that would make some kind of difference in the world. It would be nice to have a new name to start with, one that's not all worn out from being called so much. And I might even decide to have a pet, maybe a big old toad like you, that I could keep in a nice cage with lots of grass and.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Joey, for reading. All right, could I get the other Joey Liang, to read our next part of it, starting from At This Toad. Joey Liang. I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, wait, at this toad. Wait, what?
I could have sworn. Wait, are you guys the same person? There's like Joey.
No, I have a brother.
That's your brother?
No, I was the person who talked. Yeah, I have a brother, so.
Oh, because you guys have the same names. Do you have the same names?
Yeah, we have the same names.
Oh my goodness. Okay, could I get your brother to read? I don't.
Okay.
Joey's brother. Could you please read for us?
All right. This, the toad stood and blinked. It gave a heave of muscles and popped its heavy mud ball of a body a few inches further away from her. I suppose you're right, said Winnie. Then you'd be just the way I am now. Why would you have to be cooped up in a cage too? It'd be better if I could be like you, out in the open and making up my own mind. Do you know they've hardly ever let me out of this yard all by myself? I'll never be able to do anything important if I stay in here like this. I expect I'd better run away. She paused and peered anxiously at the toad to see how it would receive this staggering idea, but showed no signs of interest. You think I wouldn't dare, don't you? She said accusingly. I will, though, you'll see. Maybe even first thing in the morning, while everyone's still asleep. Winnie, came the firm voice from the window. All right, I'm coming, she cried, exasperated, and then added quickly, I mean, I'll be right there, Mama. She stood up, brushing out her legs where bits of itchy grass clung to her stockings. The toad, as if it saw that their interview was over, stirred again, bunched up, and bounced itself clumsily off toward the wood. Winnie watched it go. Hop away, Toad, she called after it. You'll see. Just wait till morning.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Joey's brother, Joey. All right, it's gonna be a long, 10 weeks. I gotta think of probably two different names to call you guys. I'll think about it. All right, moving on. Could I please have Sophia, would you like to read chapter 4 for us?
Yes, please. At sunset that day, Winnie is in the yard catching fireflies when a stranger comes to the gate. He's an older, remarkable gentleman, except for his yellow suit, which seemed to glow a little in the fading light. Winnie's grandmother comes out to ask what the man wants, but doesn't answer. Suddenly, a tinkling melody comes from the wood. Stopping after a moment, Winnie's grandmother is excited because she believes the elves have returned. But Winnie thinks the song sounds like a music box. She and her grandmother go inside, leaving the man to stare at the wood. A while later, he walks away whistling a tinkling little melody from the wood.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Sophia. What do you guys think the twinkling elf sound is? What do you think it is?
It's May Tuck's music box that she put in her little pocket.
Ooh, maybe. All right. We never know. All right, moving on to chapter. Actually, let's see. Oh no. What happened to the video? Hold on, let me take a look at this. What is going on? I had a video in stored for you guys. I don't know what happened to it. But okay. Let's see. Play it. No.
Yeah.
I think I can play it for you
You
guys.
have to go to slideshow for it to play.
Really? Because when I'm in slideshow mode, it says error.
That's weird.
Oh.
Do you know the name of the video? Maybe you could go to YouTube itself and just search for it, because it might be the PowerPoint's issue.
Probably. Let me see if I can find it for you guys.
Or you can like refresh your page.
Because they might have deleted it if it looks like they might have deleted the video, but I'm not too sure. Talk everlasting movie clips. Let's see if I can find it for you guys.
Type of movie like when the characters are supposed to be young, but they're like really old.
Yeah, they're a lot older than you would expect, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think they might have deleted it. I'm so sorry, you guys. I think we just have to move on, because sometimes what happens is that YouTubers, they delete their videos and that ends up like this, unable to play, and it's really, really annoying. But I promise you, next week I will get videos that you guys can watch. I can actually watch. All right, but let's move on to chapter number 5. Could I please have let's have someone different. I know you want to read, but let's see. Benjamin, would you like to read one again?
I'll read the half, I guess.
And you can stop at Winnie that looks lost her heart at once.
She wondered for a long time, looking at everything, listening to everything, proud to forget the tight, pruned world outside, humming a little now, trying to remember the pattern of the melody she had heard the night before. And then, up ahead, in a place where the light seemed brighter and the ground seemed somewhat more open, something moved. Winnie stopped abruptly and crouched down. It really is elves, she thought. I can have a look at them. Ha 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 ha. And though her instinct was to turn and run, she was pleased to discover that her curiosity was stronger. She began to creep forward. She would go just close enough, she told herself, just close enough to see. And then she would turn and run, yes. But when she came near, up behind a sheltering tree trunk and peered around it, her mouth dropped open and all thought of running away melted away. There's a clearing directly in front of her, at the center of which an enormous tree thrust up, its thick roots rumpling the ground 10 feet around in almost every direction. Sitting relaxed with his back against the trunk was a boy, almost a man, and he seemed so glorious to Winnie that she lost her heart at once. Whoa.
All right, awesome. That was very quick, surprisingly. Let's have Crystal. I haven't heard from you. If you would like to read, I would love to hear your voice. You can start from, if you would like to read, you can start from He Was a Thin. I don't know, because it seems like Crystal might be in her car. Let me check the chat real quick. Crystal, would you like to read? All right, I am going to skip Crystal for now. I think she's having a little bit of She's definitely in her car. Yeah. Let's have Anna go for it.
He was thin and sunburned, this wonderful boy with a thick mop of curly brown hair, and he wore his battered trousers and a loose, grubby shirt with as much self-assurance as if they were silk and satin. A pair of green suspenders, more decorative than useful, gave the finishing touch, for he was shoeless and there was a twig tucked between the toes of one foot. He waved the twig idly as he sat there, his face turned up to gaze at the branches far above him. The golden morning light seemed to glow all around him, while lighter patches fell now on his lean brown hands, now on his hair and face as the leaves stirred over his head. Then he rubbed an ear carelessly, yawned, and stretched. Shifting his position, he turned his attention to a little pile of pebbles next to him. As Winnie watched, scarcely breathing, he moved the pile carefully to one side, and pebble by pebble, beneath the pile, the ground was shiny wet. The boy lifted a final stone, and Winnie saw a low spurt of water arching up and returning like a fountain into the ground. He bent and put his lips to the spurt, drinking noiselessly, and then he sat up again and drew his shirt sleeve across his mouth. As he did this, he turned his face in her directions, and their eyes met. For a long moment, they looked at each other in silence, the boy with his arm still raised to his mouth. Neither of them moved. At last his arm fell to his side. "You may as well come out," he said with a frown. Winnie stood up, embarrassed, and because of that, resentful. "I didn't mean to watch you," she protested as she stepped into the clearing. "I didn't know anyone would be here."
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Moving on to the next slide, could I please have I think most of us have read. So, Sophia, would you like to read? Either full page or half page, depending on you.
A half page.
Awesome. All right, so you can stop.
All the way to like O, said Winnie hopelessly.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. "I'm Winnie," she said. "Who are you?" "I'm Jesse Tuck," he answered. "How do?" And he put out a hand. Winnie shook his hand, staring at him. He was even more beautiful up close. "Do you live nearby?" she managed at last, letting go of his hand reluctantly. "I never saw you before. Do you come here a lot?" "No one's supposed to. It's our wood." Then she added quickly, "It's all right, though. If you come here, I mean, it's all right with me." The boy grinned. "No, I don't live nearby, and no, I don't come here often. Just passing through. And thanks. I'm glad it's all right with you." "That's good," said Winnie irrelevantly. She stepped back and sat down. She stepped down primly for a short distance from him. How old are you, anyways?" she asked, squinting at him. There was a pause. At last he said, "Why do you want to know?" "I just wondered," said Winnie. "All right, I'm 140 years old," he told her solemnly. "Well, then," he said, "if you must know, I'm 17. 17? That's right."
All right, thank you so much. I will continue this off for you. "Oh," said Winnie hopelessly, 17? That's old." "You have no idea," he agreed with a nod. Winnie had the feeling he was laughing at her, but decided it was nice kind of laughing. "Are you married?" she asked next. This time his laugh got loud. "No, I'm not married. Are you?" Now it was Winnie's turn to laugh. "Of course not," she said. "I'm only 10, but I'll be 11 pretty soon." "And then you'll get married," he suggested. Winnie laughed again, her head on one side, admiring him. And then she pointed at the spurts of water. Is that good to drink?" she asked. "I'm thirsty." Jessie Tuck's face was instantly serious. "Oh, that? No, it's not that, he said quickly. You mustn't drink from it. Come oh my goodness. Come right up from the ground, probably pretty dirty, and he began to pile pebbles over it again. But you drank some, Winnie reminded him. Oh, did you see that? He looked at her anxiously. Well, me? I drink anything. I mean, I'm used to it. It wouldn't be good for you, though. Why not? Said Winnie. She stood up. It's mine anyways. If it is in the woods, I want some. I'm about dry as dust. She went to where he sat and kneeled down beside the pile of pebbles. All right. Could I please have Livy, could you please read this one for us? Could you read the whole thing, please? Livy, are you there? Okay.
Why not? Said Winnie. She stood up. It's mine anyway. If it's in the wood, I want some. I'm about as dry as dust. And she went to where he sat and knelt down beside the pile of pebbles. Believe me, Winnie Foster, said Jessie, it will be terrible for you if you drink any of this water. Just terrible. I can't let you. Well, I still don't see why not, said Winnie plaintively. I'm getting so scared every minute. If it didn't hurt you, it won't hurt me. If my papa was here, he'd let me have some. You're not going to tell him about it, are you? Said Jessie. His face had gone very pale under his sunburn. He stood up and put a bare foot firmly on the pile of pebbles. I knew this would happen sooner or later. Now what am I going to do? And as he said this, there was a crashing sound among the trees, and a voice called, Jessie? Thank goodness, said Jessie, blowing out his cheeks in relief. Here comes Ma and Miles. They don't know what to do. And sure enough, a big, comfortable-looking woman appeared, leading a fat old horse, and at her side was a young man almost as beautiful as Jessie. It was May Tuck, was her other son, Jessie's older brother. And at once, when she saw the two of them, Jessie was his foot on the pile of pebbles, and Winnie on her knees beside him. She seemed to understand. Her hand flew to her bosom, grasping at the old brooch that fastened her shawl, and her face went limp. Well, boys, she said, here it is. The worst is happening at last.
All right, thank you so much. Let's move on to chapter number 6. Could I please have, let's see. Oh my goodness, why is there 3 Joeys now? Wow. Joey.
Wait, are you part of a triplet that all happens to seem to be Joey's?
One of the Joeys. Do you guys have 3 people named Joey? Or is it just the 2 of you guys?
My name is actually Ryan, but I can't change my name, so yeah.
Oh, your name is Ryan? Oh my god, that's like weight off my shoulder. Let me change your name for you. Oh my goodness. Okay, okay, I just changed your name to Ryan. Okay, so there's Ryan, and then Joey, and then the other Joey, correct?
Yep.
All right, got you. Would one of the Joeys mind if I call one of them Joey Liang and the other one just Joey? Is that okay, guys?
Joey Leon is my brother.
Okay.
I don't know.
Then for one of the Joeys, I will be changing. Oh, actually, it's already changed. Oh, okay, that's not bad. All right, Ryan, could you please read chapter 6 for us?
All right. The Tucks grab Winnie, toss her on the hoist, and run away, all the while telling her to be calm and that they'll explain. While Winnie's stunned, she's not scared and goes along with what feels like a strange kidnapping. Outside the wood, they pass the man in the yellow suit from the night before. But before Winnie even thinks to call out, they've left him behind. When they finally stop, the Tucks struggle to explain the situation to Winnie. Overcome, Winnie devolves into sobs, and May brings out her music box. Winnie recognizes the tune from the night before, and it calms her like a ribbon tying her to familiar things. The group recovers, and Jessie says they'll explain, but that they need Winnie's help.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, moving on to chapter 7. Could I please have Ryan Ryan Liang? Could you please read this page for us? I think all the way to we all drank it except for the cat.
Wait, I read the one before.
Ryan, oh sorry, Joey Liang. There's so many. All right, Joey Liang, could you please read for us? Ending.
Okay.
Mhm.
It was the strangest story Winnie had ever heard. She soon suspected they had never told it before except to each other, that she was their first real audience, for they gathered around her like children at their mother's knee, each trying to claim her attention, and sometimes they all talked at once and interrupted each other in their eagerness. 87 years before, the Tucks had come from a long way to the east, looking for a place to settle. In those days, the wood was not wood, it was a forest, just as her grandmother had said. A forest that went on and on and on. They had thought they would start a farm as soon as they came to the end of the trees, but the trees never seemed to end. When they came to the part that was now the wood and turned from the trail to find a camping place, wait, what?
To the did you lose where you were? Or
Yeah,
did-
since my battery is running low.
Oh, do you want to stop reading or do you and go and charge your computer? Joey,
Wait, hold on, my computer's about to die.
Okay. Go charge your computer. I'll finish it up for you. I think you was at I think it was I'll start off by
It was like it says when they came to the part that was now the wood and turned from the trail to find a camping place right there.
camping.
I could read it.
Ryan, could you please?
Yeah. They happened on the spring. It was real nice, said Jessie with a sigh. It looked just the way it does now. A clearing, lots of sunshine, that big tree with all those knobby roots. We stopped and everyone took a drink, even the horse. No, said May, the cat didn't drink. That's important. Yes, said Miles, don't leave that out. We all had a drink, except for the cat. Well, anyways, Jessie went on, the water tasted sort of strange, but we camped there overnight, and Pa carved a T on the tree trunk to mark where we've been, and then we went on. They had come out of this forest at last, many miles to the west, had found a thinly populated valley, had started their farm. We put up a hoist for Ma and Pa, said Miles, and a little shack for Jessie and me. We figured we'd be starting families of our own pretty soon and would want our own horses. That was the first time we figured something peculiar, said May. Jessie fell out of a tree.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan, for helping out Joey and helping out me. All right, let's have Ava. I haven't heard from you in I think this whole entire time. Would you like to read? Starting from I was way in the middle. Ava, are you there?
Sure.
All right.
I was way up in the middle, Jessie interrupted, trying to saw off some of the big branches before he cut her down. I lost my balance and I fell. He landed plumb on his head, said May with a shudder. We thought for sure he'd broke his neck, but come to find out, it didn't hurt him a bit. Not long after, Miles went on, some hunters come by one day at sunset. The horse was grazing by some trees and they shot him. Mistook him for a deer. They said, "Can you fancy that?" But the thing is, they didn't kill him. The bullet went right on through him and didn't hardly even leave a mark.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Ava, for reading. Let's move on to chapter number 8. Let's move on. Da, 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 da. Bum, bum, bum. Oh no, Ava. We have a top secret question just for you, since you're the last person who read. You will be answering this question for the whole entire class. All right. So your question is, how has the Tuckers figured out what figured out they were going to do? Oh my goodness, let me restart. How has the Tucker figured out they were going to live forever? Ava? I'll give you a hint. You were just reading about it. If that helps in any way. Sorry, what did you say?
They had the spring water, whatever you call
it. Would you like some assistance? Ava?
I guess.
Yeah, you can pick anyone that you would like for a little bit of help.
Sophia.
Okay, so they figured out by lots of examples, like after they drank the water, like how I think Tuck, he got bitten by a poisonous snake, but he didn't die, or how I think it was Jesse who fell out of a tree but didn't get hurt, or how the horse also drank the water, got shot but didn't hurt him or do any damage. And they figured out from all those examples that they're going to live forever no matter what damage or anything that happens to them.
Yeah, awesome. That was the perfect summary of what it was. Awesome, awesome. All right, you guys, that means that is 2 points for you guys. So good job. I'm super proud of you guys. I know that one was a little bit tricky, but I'm glad that you were able to Ava was able to get some assistance from Sophia and answer that question very, very perfectly. All right, we are going to go into our last chapter of this book. So I will be finishing us. Actually, Anna, would you like to finish us off?
There's going to be a question in here.
I don't know.
It is. It's the third question in the last chapter.
She's just trying to keep it a secret.
I don't know.
Be prepared. Be prepared.
All right, go for it.
Though Winnie doesn't believe in fairy tales, she decides the story must be true because the Tucks seem so nice and earnest. They ask her to come home with them so Tuck can explain more and help her understand why it's so important to keep the spring a secret. Winnie agrees and the group sets off. Winnie and Jessie running and laughing. None of them notice the man in the yellow suit who hid and overheard the entire story. He follows them home with the corners of his mouth turned ever so slightly toward a smile.
All right, awesome. All right, since this is the last chapter that we are going to be reading today, I am going to make up the question on the spot. Let's see. Since Anna is super smart and seems like she knows the story very, very well, I'm gonna go a little bit deeper into the story, and hopefully you have read about it. But let's see. How do you think the man in the yellow suit is going to take advantage of the situation that he has overheard in?
He's going to take advantage of the situation that he overheard the story and use that excuse because he knows where Winnie is now. Since he knows where Winnie is now, then he can go all the way to Winnie's parents and grandma, and he obviously wants to be immortal, so he wants to get the property in exchange for Winnie.
Right. Yeah, that was perfect, actually. Oh my goodness. You guys are super, super smart. What? Okay, so that means all of you guys, the whole class have earned full points this week. I am super proud of all of you guys. Congratulations. But remember, there are going to be a couple more questions next week. So I hope you have all your thinking caps on. But other than that, we are going to go into our little activity for this section. And I hope all of you guys are very excited for it as much as I am. Because when I first saw this activity, I was like, I definitely need to do this with the whole entire class. But again, awesome job, everyone. We have officially finished technically part 1 of Tucker Everlasting. Congratulate everyone and awesome job with all the reading. I am super proud of all of you guys. All right, we are a little bit short on time, but I think we can get this done if we're very, very proactive and we do this very quickly. All right, the activity for this week is going to be a reporter. The town of Treecap was certain that Winnie is missing. What might a local newspaper have said of mysterious circumstances around her disappearance? You'll be the reporter who gets the story. Interviews the town folks. Did anyone see it? Has anyone heard any rumors? Draw out a very simple missing person poster with some pictures, but there is a very big catch to this. It cannot include a picture of Winnie, the magic water, or the family of the Tucks. So you have to make a missing poster very, very quickly, very simple, and try your best not to add any pictures of Winnie, the magic water, or the family of Tucks. All right, and try your best, and we will need all the participants right now to participate, like right now, to get the final point. So technically, remember the 3 points that we got earlier? So you guys will be getting an additional point if everyone participates in this activity. Does that make sense of everyone? Before anyone starts, slow down. Before anyone starts, you guys can either do this on paper right now, or I will open up the whiteboard for all of you guys to draw on. And hold on to your horses. I am going to share the whiteboard right now, and I will begin the timer for 3 minutes. Are you guys ready?
If we use paper, are we going to show it to you at the end?
Yes, you'll all hold it up. So you can either use the whiteboard or you can use the paper. I believe that everyone can draw on the whiteboard. Hopefully everyone can draw on the whiteboard.
Wait, let me test.
I think we need remote control.
Hold on real quick. I will
It's called annotate. Like it's in security, like everyone annotate.
I believe I pressed that. Does everyone have access to it?
Let's see. I can do it.
Okay, awesome. All right, I will start the timer starting now. You have 3 minutes. Go, everyone. I will also be playing some music. Let me see. I think I'm gonna play Kahoot music just because it's.
Like, could you please type like the things that we can't have on there, like the rules and stuff?
Yes. Let me repeat myself one more time. You cannot have Winnie. Number 1, you cannot have Winnie the picture. You cannot have a picture of the magic water, and you cannot certainly have the pictures of the Tuckers. All right. I hope that is clear.
And one more thing, will this competition be like the last one? Like,
it will be the last
well,
point.
is it like the previous competitions or is it different? Because I heard it includes writing.
You can include writing if you want, but I think that depends on you, honestly. I don't mind anything. It can either be a drawing or writing, just as long as everyone participates.
The final. But like the
final. Okay, so the final for this, I will tell you more about it as we get closer to it, but I know for a fact there's going to be a little bit of some changes going on.
Are we allowed to what's that called again? Are we allowed to use Are we allowed to include the man in the yellow suit again? I
Yes,
forgot.
yes, go for it. Yes, you are allowed to. All right, let me play the Kahoot music. This is definitely not Kahoot music. All right, hold on. Everyone, you have a minute and 30. Remember, everyone has to participate in order to get the point. You guys have 40 seconds left. All right, you guys have 10 seconds left. Finish up whatever you have. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, hands up, everyone. Hands up, hands up. No more, no more, no more. All right. All right, all right. I assume that everyone has finished most of everything. I hope that everyone can look at the can everyone who did it on paper, can you hold it up real close to the camera for all of us to see? All right, let me actually pin you guys so you guys can see it better. But I see Sophia's definitely. Let me pin you. All right, I see Sophia's, I see Anna's. Wow, you guys wrote a lot. Let me add another pin and I see Ava's. Wow, Ava, that's so nice. I love that. All right, and other than that, let's look at some of our whiteboard drawings. We have oh no, they're not very they're kind of not named. If you guys can add your name to it, that would be lovely and that would be very, very nice. But if you guys do not, that's totally fine. I'll just look through them. But I can see Ben has a very cool drawing, a lot of words. I love that. I see Joey's. His is circled around the man in the yellow suit. I hope all of you guys are looking at the your whiteboards to see it. Livy's, Livy, yours is so cute. I love it. It's very, very cute. I love that. Let's see. I think the one in the very corner is Joey's. I love that as well. I love everyone's. I believe everyone participated. I think so. I would assume, hopefully. But awesome job, everyone. I will give you guys the point. So that is that is 4 full points for you guys. I am so happy that you guys got all the full points. I am so glad you decided to join me for class, and I cannot wait to see you guys next week. All right, bye-bye, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Thank you all for
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, guys.